A couple of years ago, I saw Asmongold react to this video. It's called Let's Go Whaling. Apparently, it's the CEO of TribeFlame, and he's teaching everyone how to monetize mobile games, or something like that. It always kind of stuck with me. Let's watch it. Connects.
Hello. I'm here to talk about monetization. It's
Let's Go Whaling. Monetization.
It is about a summary of a huge bunch of behavioral psychology. Okay. So the tricks on how to monetize a game well. Some of you will probably be slightly shocked by all the tricks I have listed here.
So these are tricks about how to monetize a game well. Now also keep in mind, this video came out in 2016. It might be dated, that's what I'm trying to say.
But I'll leave the morality of it out of the talk. We can discuss it if we have time later. So let's dive right in.
Someone laughed in the background.
First off,
they have memes.
Wall Street trader and an oil sheikh got into a fight. Who won? You guys
I know the
did.
answer to this, yeah. If two whales are competing against each other in the game, who's going to win the company? They're the ones who get all the money.
This is to remind you that a lot of the spend comes from the high-paying guys, the whales.
The whales.
And the very best way to get these guys to spend is to get two rich, competitive guys to fight each other and tell them, I'll give you a slight upside if you pay me.
Get two doctors to fight against each other. Works every time.
Next off, to remind you that the best way to make sure
it possible
both
to
your
spend $1,000
retention
on
and your
in-app
monetization
purchases
is to make sure you have enough of an in-game economy in there. The 1,000 up there is actually clearly lowballing it.
It's probably a lot higher nowadays too.
Top grossing games have in-game economies worth tens of thousands. That's how you can keep people in there. They have lots of things to do, stuff to upgrade, to progress along, and that's how you can make them spend a lot as well. Since you can, for instance, give a huge discount on something. You know, this stuff is worth 150 euros, but now I'll give it to you for 5. If your whole in-game economy is worth less than 150, you cannot do that, of course.
So in order to be successful, you need an organized in-game economy. It needs to be valuable too.
Now, a few of these like frameworks on how to think of stuff. I've seen suggestions to model what you sell according
Had to blow my nose.
According to Bartle types. I assume you're all familiar with Bartle types. The achievers want to progress in the game, the socializers want to speak to other people, the killers just want to compete and kill each other, and the explorers are the guys who are after stories and experiences.
If my memory serves me correctly, they talked about cosmetic players. They called them collectors, I believe. And these were people who essentially just collected cosmetics in the game. I think they might actually be part of the socializers group. And when the game Survivor.io, a mobile game, actually kind of monetized cosmetics, it reminded me of this video, and that's why we're watching it now. It's been a long time since I've seen this.
So this is from Will Luton's suggestion to you sell convenience to the achievers, which really means faster progress. Customization to socializers, hats and stuff.
Yeah, cosmetics, okay.
Competitive advantage, that is pay to win for the killers, and content for explorers. Now, the reason I highlighted convenience up there or progress is that most of your sales will be here. Okay. Customization, hats and stuff, they're nice, but you'll have a single-digit % of your income coming from that.
Yeah, as you see here, developers really aren't getting that much money from cosmetics, so I found it weird when a mobile game started to monetize their cosmetics.
If you do both that and progress. Competitive advantage is good, but you can go overboard with it and have an unbalanced game, which is, if it's too clearly pay to win, people will stop playing. And content, it takes a lot of resources and time to do that.
Even if it's not, they'll still kind of complain.
Hardly any team can keep up producing content in the at the pace needed. This one I like a bit better. Hook Habit Hobby. This is a model from
You hook 'em in.
Dimitri Dravanov of
Wow.
Flare Games. It's a model for how people progress in a game. The hook is what gets you into the game to try out
Like that
a free-to-play
99
game.
cent package.
Then you build it into a habit that you play multiple sessions every day. And then at the end, it's the hobby phase where people see it as one of their main hobbies, and they put lots of time and resources into it. Now, if we look at this from a monetization
Does that
perspective,
remind
the
you
hook
guys
is
of
where
any
you
of you?
put up an icebreaker. You want to give a really, really good deal, something that's a no-brainer. You would be crazy to turn it down.
Like
as
a
player.
beginner's package, a
The
starter's
reason
package.
to give a really good deal up front is by making people spend up front, they are also emotionally committing to your game, their retention will go up. And the first spend is, it breaks the ice, then they think of themselves as spenders in the game. It's okay for me to spend in the game. Lots of people otherwise have this wall up, I will never pay for a mobile game. So you need to break the wall first.
Once they spend,
The habit
they start
is
spending more.
like the main meat of the game. This is where you sell the faster progress, as we just discussed. And the hobby is for the guys who have already maxed out. They're the guys who have all of their Clash of Clans building at the max level. They are already there. So you can no
legend
longer
grade
sell
equipment.
progress to them. You have to sell consumables. This is where you're selling the faster healing times or faster build times of armies. This is also where you get basically unlimited upper spend. There's no limit to how much you can
Like
spend in, for
maybe
instance, Clash
new
of Clans.
equipment, new characters
so
in the
let's go down
game.
into some of these more tricks.
Gachas.
Gachas.
That's how they get
Who
you.
hasn't heard of gachas? Excellent.
Excellent. All of you guys have.
So gachas, they're named after gachapon, these Japanese machines, which are sort of slot machines that give you collectible stuff. On random, you get collectible stuff. But it's really the same mechanic that we have had in Western markets for collectible playing cards like Magic the Gathering for ages.
And gumball
You
machines.
cannot, no matter how much you spend, you cannot directly get the card you want. You have to, over and over again, pay to get a bunch of random cards and hope that the thing you wanted is in there. Or
It's
then
a
you
risk.
like trade them somehow if there's what wasn't what you hoped for. These are great for again both monetization and retention because people like the lottery part of it. If you want, look up Skinner box to know why. It's really a lot more exciting, and you
love
get
opening
more
up
content
boxes.
because people cannot
As do
immediately
I.
progress to the stuff they want. They have to keep trying a few times. So it really takes like 5 times as long to get the collection that they need compared to just progressing and collecting soft currency and buying it straight off. Okay, then think about how you want
Look
to
at this Candy
get
Crush
to,
and Mobile Strike.
get to your millions.
Old games.
Do you
Candy
go
Crush is
the
still
king
pretty
route
popular.
of having a huge volume of play?
Do you guys remember Mobile Strike and all their advertisements with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Is that game still around? They should have listened to you.
Players and a fairly modest lifetime value for each spender? Or do you go the machine zone route of having a very hardcore game that like 95% of the population is going to look like, what is that? But the 5% that actually do play it, they will spend a lot.
of money. Okay.
Just know where you stand on this. Hot state. There's an excellent book about behavioral psychology called Thinking Fast and Slow. This is the fast thinking. I'm telling you that the fast thinking mode is what you want.
Make
The
people
slow
think
thinking
fast.
is
Make
your
them play
analytical
fast.
brain. What's 12 times 47? I'm sure all of you can answer that, but you have to start your actual thinking brain to do that. Now, if
Okay.
I say, complete the sentence, bread and... Everyone's thought, butter.
Easy. Think fast.
So that's the fast thinking. Our brain works in these 2 modes, and starting the analytical part of your brain is too much to ask for a spend. How it applies to games is make stuff
They don't want you
immediately
guys to
useful,
think.
immediate
Don't start to
gratification.
overthink. You'll start
If you have,
saving money. If you overthink, you won't spend money on their games.
For instance, a coin doubler or some other stuff that will help you. People will have to analyze and think it through. These things are good for me. These will help me progress before they do it. And they won't do that. If, on the other hand, you do like, for instance, in this temple run, once your game is over,
It's over?
save me, I have a few seconds to spend hard currency and I get to continue. Or similar in Candy Crush Saga, at the very moment that I've lost, I can see I just played a bit more, I can pass it. Make it immediately useful. Loss
Spend
aversion.
a bit more.
This is, people are much more attached to the stuff they have than an equal amount of things that they can gain. Which means that if I give you an offer, I'll flip a coin. If it's tails, I'll take 100 euros from you. If it's heads, I'll give you 120 euros. Who would take the bet?
Less people.
No one. No.
I would. Let's do it.
We need more gain to offset the loss is felt more strongly. We need like 200 against 100 loss.
Torulf.
200 gain against 100 loss. Then we'll take the deal. In games, you can apply this by giving people stuff that is in their pocket, and then threaten to take it away unless they pay up. This is lots of level-based games do this. There are collectibles in things like Puzzle and Dragons. You collect along the way. If you didn't finish the level, they'll take it from you.
Okay, so if you don't complete something, you take it away. Yeah, okay. You have to complete the chapter, or you get nothing.
Plays into the loss aversion. If there are rare cards up here, and you see the goblin going with his clocks.
Every game has a shop like
I'll take it away from you. I'll take it away from you.
Yeah, okay.
They are scarce. They go away.
You put the clock in there.
This is a brilliant way to get more.
Like, I know I'll never see him again.
To spend more.
That's true. I spend money when that happens.
Subscription. Does anyone recognize the guy?
Yeah, that's the builder from Clash of Clans.
From Clash of Clans.
Costs gems, 500 gems.
The point of this is the builder has a very specific way of working. If you spend your hard currency on this guy, you will only get the benefit from him if you then keep coming back to the game very often.
Okay. I don't know how it works.
So it drives both retention and monetization.
Is it still modeled like that?
That makes people come back to your game a lot in order to get the value out of that. The Ikea Effect.
Ikea Effect.
This is to say stuff that we put work into, we value more highly. You know, Ikea really sells you cardboard stuff. It's shit. But you value it somehow slightly higher.
Shots fired at Ikea. Ikea's not even here, man.
The model over here is from a psychology book called Hooked, How to Build Hooking Products.
How to build a hooking product.
This is
trigger,
how
action.
we build
Variable
habits.
reward.
There's a trigger to remind us to do something. Then we go do an action. We get the variable reward, just like the gachas. We get
like
the lottery
daily
ticket.
mission?
And then to really hook it down, we need to ask people to do something for us, do a little bit of work, because then they become emotionally attached to that.
They have that a lot in events.
And then we set up the next trigger, either internal or external. External trigger means really a notification in our case.
Okay.
Internal to that people have in their minds that, you know, I started building that tower, or
Send
I
people
planted
mobile
pumpkins. That means
notifications,
I
I
need
guess.
to come back in 8 hours. So that's the trigger, and then we go round and round, and we have the habit.
I turn all mine off.
Anchoring is fun. Anchoring means that when we don't know the price of stuff, the first price we hear suggested for it becomes our anchor, and then we compare everything to that. For instance, an iconic example, black pearls. Black pearls, when they first came on the market, no one wanted them because they're dull and black and don't look very nice. Hey!
Watch your mouth,
the guy
boy.
who had them told his summer trainee or whatnot to just dump the price of them and get rid of them. The summer trainee understood it wrong and actually hiked the price by 50% or 100%. And then suddenly they became these objects of desire.
Because they were priced so high, they were desired.
More, special, I think, is this. If I ask all of you to write down the last 2 digits of your social security number, and then I have an auction, like imagine this is a fancy bottle of wine, and you get to bid on auction here. The people like me, my last 2 digits in my social security number are 99. I'd bid a higher price on this. than the guys who have like 10 or 0.5.
Of course.
Just because I wrote down a high number on a paper will anchor my thinking on what goes next.
Okay.
So how to use this in a game? Some games, immediately when you're in the tutorial, they suggest to you, you should buy this good IAP for 50 euros or something like that. I go like,
okay, I've seen that in
that's
mobile games.
expensive, I'll never do that. Of course.
Sometimes they'll give you like a trial with a premium weapon or something like that. I remember that in Primal Goddess War something like that. I forget what it's called. But they give you the like ultimate weapon and you play it in a chapter, and then once that chapter's over, it's like, we're going to take it back. This costs money if you want it. They anchored us in.
Of course, no. And I expect them to say no. Then again, I come back like...
And by the way, you need that weapon if you want to be competitive in that game. So you need to spend money.
They buy it for 15. And I'll say, that's a good value because my anchor was at 50. Social proof. So
What's
this is,
line for?
we are
I don't
herd
know.
animals, we tend to do what all of the others do.
Sheeps.
You all sit quiet listening to me because that's what all of the other guys do
That's
here.
right. This guy has like, you're all below me. You all sit quiet there and listen to me.
Especially when people are similar to
You're all sheep.
us. This means that you should have the socially accepted way of behaving in your game should be paying. You want to tell people,
you want it to be
for instance,
socially acceptable
when
to pay.
a clan member
that's
of
the
theirs
dream. That's the
spend
dream for a lot of
IAP money,
developers.
you want the whole clan to know. Because then
okay, you want
that
the whole
becomes
clan
the
to just
socially
be like,
acceptable way of
keep
behaving.
keep spending.
You
Everyone's spending. You need to
absolutely do
spend.
not
Spend
want
to keep
tell
up.
them that the majority.
That's actually a really big problem. That hooks a lot of people. When people see their friends and clanmates spending, they keep on spending and spending and spending and spending and spending. And also, clans also have requirements on a lot of mobile games, and people have to keep up to that bar. And if they don't, they get booted. And a lot of these people have like social lives invested into these games, and if they get booted from their clans, they don't keep on spending. Oh no.
Of people in your game never spend money. That's poison. Never tell them that.
Never.
Availability means that the stuff we hear a lot about is the stuff we judge as likely to happen. This, for instance, can tie into gachas.
12 die in airplane crash.
If there are rare gachas, not every player will see them every session. That's like the definition of rare, which means that they will think that it's not likely to happen that they get one of those, which means that you should tell them about it, which means every time a clan member gets one of the rare things, you should broadcast it
okay, like
to,
one of
to
those
all of the
system
others.
notifications
like
that you see in some
rare
games.
legendary thing.
Like this guy
Then
opened
they
up a
will
box and
judge
got
more,
an armored
like
penguin.
The right amount of choice. This is a famous jam experiment. They put up a stall in a supermarket with 20 different jams. You know, have a taste here. Then you have a discount. Go buy some. And then they had a control group who had only 5 jams to taste. Now, for the one with 20, a lot of people stopped by and tasted the jams. But for the one with 6,
I thought you said 5.
More people bought.
Now you're saying 6?
They know that that's the best one. That's the one I want. If there are 20, there's too much choice.
So maybe when there's too much,
get
it's all
anxious.
saturated.
We choose nothing.
Narrow it down to 6.
There's a bunch of data
whales
on
take longer. Average number
this
of
that
days
whales
to first
take longer
purchase.
time to convert. This is just another reminder for you to have content for a bloody long time.
That's why you want to hook them in. You need to hook them in.
Go through,
you got to
through
keep
the
them
store.
spending. Not all whales are rich, you know.
I have an example, hill climb racing, because it's so fantastically minimal and nice. You do your action, your in-game, your core game there, and you go straight into the meta game where you do the upgrades, and then back there. So the loop always goes through the meta stage where your store, where you're spending money. Labeling technique, I haven't seen this actually done in a game, but it's interesting. It should
let's
work.
see, what is this? He's never seen it done.
If we tell people they are a certain way, if we compliment them on being nice, good citizens, they are more likely to behave as nice, good citizens. So you should actually tell your players that they are generous individuals who have a taste for good art.
Treat them like dogs. Treat them like animals. Treat them like your pets.
Their game developers by paying you and buying IAPs.
He's telling them to treat us like pets.
Related to that, also to telling people the reason to do something makes them much more likely to actually follow through and do that.
CEO memes, am I right?
Reasons. The reasons don't even have to be that good in order for this to work.
Spend just because.
And last, here are
4 ways
remember,
to
there are
progress.
4 ways of progressing
Skill,
in,
luck,
in
grind,
games in
and
general.
pay.
You can have a skill-based game, you can have a luck-based game, you can have a game where you just progress by grinding, or you can pay to progress. Make sure that your games aren't too skill-based.
Yeah, make sure they know about both.
Myself.
Make sure they're not too
game,
skill-based.
You don't get people to pay you because there's
That's
no
like
reason to.
99.9%
So
of mobile
make sure
games.
grinding and paying are legitimate versions of
Make sure
progressing in
grinding
the
and
game.
paying, yeah, are just how you play games.
That's it.
What?
A few questions.
Did you just say F you? I couldn't hear that. I was talking over him. Oh, thank you. Now they're going to ask
Any
questions.
at all?
Don't ask.
No?
Nope.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Bye.
I'll give
He's
one
like, any
more
questions?
in case you didn't have questions.
Any questions? And everyone's like, no, get out of here.
Reciprocity
You
is a
disgusting
very, very strong
pig.
mechanic. If I give something to you, if you give something to me, I feel obliged to give something to you. To trigger that, however, we need 3 different criteria. The gift needs to be unexpected, personal, and significant.
Okay.
It can't feel like something I gave to
This is his
everyone,
encore.
which makes this a real challenge to do as part of the game. But I think you can incentivize your players to trigger reciprocity between each other. But that's a challenge for you guys. Thank you.
That's a challenge for us. You're welcome. Bye. So yeah, that was Let's Go Whaling. Now we just looked into the mind of some type of mobile gaming CEO. That's how they think. That's what they think of us. And I want to know, what do you think of this video? Let's hear it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Smash like, subscribe. I'll see you later.